fellow YouTubers, this is XallZall Rising. Welcome to another video of Space Engineers, and this time presenting the Federation Space Explorer White Lightning. So, as the name states, this is an exploration vessel designed mainly for 3 people, rather large for 3 people, but it's a long-range explorer. So, checking out the features, let's just circle the ship so you get a better idea of how this looks. We'll get to its weapons. So starting off, we can see it has 4 rocket pods, each 19 shots each, and it is of course survival ready. On the top here we have a 230mm battery cannon, which is very large, very strong, good for covering the rear of the ship. To the front here we have 4 times the smaller 23mm cannons, which is good for covering yourself in asteroid fields so that it shoots the meteors down. Defensive purposes really, such as also targeting smaller objects or incoming missiles. And at the bottom here we have Asimov tank cannon with 30 shots, so this is kind of like a sniper, really good to engage for long-range combat, which is the ideal condition for this ship, because as you can see it has a great open cockpit, but with such a great open cockpit it comes at the expense, of course, of low protection. So you want to engage targets at a distance if you can. Otherwise avoid them really, because this is, like I said, more of an exploration ship. So we can also see at the bottom here, striking out, that the oxygen tanks are external, and that there's a drill here which will be useful for collecting uranium or ice, just not using the small hand drill. So this can definitely help on long-term operations, and you can see the refinery and whatnot is on the inside of the ship. So moving to the inside, as you can see there's a camera peeking here, and all the doors are pretty much automated. So you stand here in the center, door will close, wait for that to close, not that we have an oxygen leak. Walk in here, you can see here is the changing room, some lockers, to change your suit here, and a sink here to wash your hands in case you bring any bacteria in here, so just to make sure that you get some hygiene. And then there's 2 sections of the ship, one leading to the cockpit and the command room, and the other one leading to the engine room. Here's also a door down here, which is more of an emergency door in case anything blocks the doors or whatnot. You can then access that area below, which we'll get into in a moment. So we're moving here to the canteen. As you can see, there is some coffee, unfortunately no tea by the looks of it. You can have the kitchen here, some areas to sit, fridge here, and some pool for some fun, as well as Mortal Kombat. So moving up here, we have some beds, 6 areas where you can sleep, but 3 of them are really only accessible. You can sit down here as well, enjoy the sight, nice flowers, so it gives just a better atmosphere here down here. So of course a very vital component of the ship is always the medical bay, and without it obviously any injuries are, even if you die, you don't respawn, so very important part of the ship, of course. Here we have a shower, splish splash, I was taking a bath, again some hygiene of course, and what would a ship be without a toilet? It would be horrible. I can only imagine what astronauts would do when you gotta go. You're probably gonna have to go outside of the ship, but oh yeah, moving on. So we can then reach here the engine room, and as you can see the jump drive striking out, gyroscopes on this side, 6 on each side, so 12 total, and 4 reactors on each side, so in total. You're accessible and can be then refueled from here. So moving to the other section of the ship, which is the forward compartment. there's second floor on the top, which we'll get to soon. So down here we have the refinery. We can access that when small ships give their supply, or the drill itself. You can access those items, and then unfortunately you have to bring them in manually with hand, which toward the assembly and get the resources that you need. So let's just have a quick look at the crane. The crane itself has a camera, so you can access the camera down here if you're playing only first person. But let's just look from the exterior so we can see what we're doing. So first button to unlock the crane, the second button controls the vertical plane of the crane. So we just stop it here, and 4 it does the horizontal. So we'll stop it here, and we're going to quickly put on the drill itself, so it can be fixed rather fast. And then, of course, we have a piston here as well, which we can reverse, and we can then drill into the asteroid and getting the resources that you need. So just turn that off. Number 6 holds it in place. Okay, then moving on, we can access the lower decks. Here's a small ship design flaw, so you just click on space and usually you can run through it, but if you just walk you kind of get stuck. Strangely, it didn't know. So we have some chronopods down here, and then we have an armory which you can grab your weapons then, and then once you have done that you can access the ramp here, and then you and your friends, your teammates go down and get into some action. Not the most efficient way to leave the ship, since this is a big room. Now obviously the oxygen will be sucked out, but if you need to use that, there is always that, and that emergency hatch that I just mentioned there leads obviously down to there. So moving here to the next room, there are mainly tubes under us that connect to the exterior oxygen storages. You can access that oxygen storage from here, which also connects down to the azimuth tank cannon. We'll get into these rooms later, and we want to go up here. We want to see what was up there on the other room. So up here there's not a whole lot really. There's the programmable block, which runs the code for the configurable LCDs mod, which is not really a mod, it's more of a script. Excellent one at that as well. Obviously up here the gravity generator. So moving on. The oxygen goes through two tubes really. One is this here, and the other one is this large ventilation shaft, which we'll just open up here so you can have an idea of how these look. So you can see glimpses of the cockpit, and then here we go through the whole ship, and each has these doors that can be accessed from the console panel, and they can be then locked in case there's any oxygen leaks. We can obviously lock these doors in place so that we don't have any further oxygen leakage. So moving to the final compartment of the ship, which is the cockpit itself. So we'll just go down here. So moving into here, and the first thing that strikes the eye is the LCD panel is displaying details which are factual, so these information can help. You can see what the ammos are here. We can see 5 rounds of the 30mm defensive turrets here, which can be resupplied from these cargo containers. So one of the seats here is the navigator. So the navigator has obviously control of the ship. Captain's watching from behind to make sure that you do your job right. So let's take some pot shots here. Has access to rockets, of course. You can fire some. Then we have some cameras here checking the rear, sides, and this has access to searchlights, which we can see from the exterior here. Let's just jump here, and then the searchlights can be toggled on and off. At least one of them, so I need to just configure a few of that later on. Then we have antenna, and we can turn on the SOS signal here with the broadcasting. Oh, it's gonna not do the warp drive there. And he has access to the periscope view as well, which we'll get into in a second. So then here we have the weapons officer. As you can see, the weapons officer has full access to turning on the weapons, whether they should target asteroids or whether they should not. Here I'm taking control of the 230 millimeter battery. As you can see, we're taking a shot there, so good for engaging at long ranges. Good amount of damage. 4, as you can see, you can shoot 4 on a volley. Sorry for damaging your ears there, since they're rather loud. Okay, so moving to the captain's chair here. Captain's chair, we can rotate the chair, so it's always a nice little fun feature. Just rotate it back in place. Here's actually one thing up there, so just stop the rotating. The captain can access to unlock this hatch in case of emergency if you need to run out. He has also access to the periscope, which we'll check out right now. The periscope is fully controllable. As we can see, we're right now doing a horizontal view, and each of the navigator and the gunner can access this periscope view as well. So in case the captain sees something here through his periscope and the navigator or gunner is not aware of that, then you can say, hey, quickly look. As obviously you can see it is using a telescope, so you can zoom in on your targets and then tell your gunner to shoot at that, or your navigator to go in that direction. So the captain obviously has full control of the ship as well. So here we can take a remote control. As you can see, not the best angle right now here, but we can rotate the chair and we can override the navigator in case he's not doing his job right, or he's slacking off, or he's not there, or he's AFK, or emergency situation. You can take, of course, in full control of the ship itself. Same applies for weapons. You can turn them on and off, then have full control of each individual turret. You're taking some shots as well, and so the captain has basically full power. And last but not least, say the ship is under heavy attack, whether we tried everything, the ship cannot be saved anymore, and your life is at risk, there's just nothing left to do. Then we can access obviously these 2 areas. Of course, take caution when you open up, the whole oxygen gets sucked out, and we can access these escape pods. So unfortunately, the escape pods are kind of detached from the ship, so you do have to kind of hopefully have a jetpack here, and then, or take a brave jump. We can lock these up here, and then we can click this button here to detach. So we just detached ourselves from the main ship, and then we can access the ejection thrusters, which is basically throws away from the ship itself. So this is just to gain some distance, and for whatever reason, every now and then it seems to kind of not really function. So not the most reliable of escape pods, at least I don't know what's causing it. For instance, if we go on the outside here, it's detached, that's for a fact, and as you can see as well, if I copy it, it's detached from the ship, but it sometimes has trouble moving away. Why isn't it moving? Well, anyway, let's just hope that it does take flight. Come on, fly! What an unreliable escape pod. It's very peculiar. Let's turn it on and off, the engines. Maybe that will help. I think it's working now. Yeah, okay, we're gaining some distance now, so I really can't explain what exactly has happened there. So we get some distance by using the ejection thrusters, and then disable those, and then we actually use the actual escape thrusters, which are much stronger and more abundant. As you can see down there, it has 8 in total. Now we're flying away from the ship. So this is XallZall Rising. Signing off. Hope you enjoyed this video.